how to deal with a bad boss, a highly requested topic. So I'm going to give you 3 tips today to build a better relationship and really put yourself in control. You know, I talk a lot about, I want you to have a successful 2021, and I want you to be at the driver's seat of your career. And your boss, they play a big part of that. So let's talk about how to, if you're dealing with someone maybe right now that is quote unquote a bad boss, how do you deal with that, and how do you position yourself for success on the other side of that relationship? When people get that boss title, supervisor, manager, I think a lot of people just assume, hey, this person knows it all, right? Like they're here for a reason. And there is no boss school. There is no, hey, this is how you lead people. Everyone goes through their own journey. So you have to really dig deep and figure out, where is my boss in this journey right now? Maybe they were highly technical and that's why they're here now. Maybe they were known for not being the best, people leader, but they needed someone technical in that role. So how can you complement that in order for the whole team to collectively be more successful? So the first thing I want you to look at, number 1, is the why behind your boss. What motivates them? It's different than you. Most likely very different, which is why you don't find a lot of common ground. But what motivates them and what makes them good at what they do? Dig deep, watch them, do an audit. What are the things that elevate their stress levels? Like, you really got to understand this person in a whole different frame. And I want you to think through, okay, what motivates them? What scares them? Like, what do you notice causes friction for them that perhaps for you makes no sense? Look at those things, write that down. The way you can think 2 steps ahead and position yourself from a place of, hey, I'm going to support you so we're collectively stronger, which is the second thing. You're going to support over judge. Okay. We love sitting back and be like, oh, well, if I was in that position, I would be doing X, Y, Z. Listen, you're not. So I want you to look back and think through and say, okay, how do I support my boss on their weaknesses? If you tell me this is a horrible person, I don't want to support them. Listen, whether you support them or not, people are going to see their true colors. You might as well support yourself in your career and position yourself in the brand, the personal brand that I know you want to have. And you know what happens when you do that? When you support someone, regardless of that, what other leaders are seeing in the company is, that is someone I want to have on my team. They think bigger than themselves. They think bigger than, the one self. They're looking at the collective team, and it's going to only fuel you to get better. The more you deal with this now, the more you realize that at the end of the day, what people see and what people value is what you do when no one is expecting you to do it. So support over judgment is number 2. And then number 3 is, I want you to think bigger than your boss and think about your personal brand. Because if you find yourself in a place where you're not delivering like you should, you are unmotivated, not putting the same work ethic that you did before, the only person that's hurting is you. And I want you to remember that in order for you to come out winning on the other side, is that you have to be untouched in what makes you you. And if at the end of the day, you're like, as a company, I'm not getting the support I need, as a company, I don't have the resources, then that's a bigger discussion. But remember, like, no boss is permanent. And if you are at a place that you love the company, you know that there are better bosses out there, you're going to have to stick this through, position yourself from a place of control. And I want to see you, no matter what, come out with your personal brand stronger than ever. So I want you to drop questions in the below, or if you want to send them privately, you can. What questions do you have about positioning yourself regardless of your boss? Because remember, this is bigger than one person. This is about your career. This is about your LLC. When we talk about you being the CEO of your career. So don't let anyone hurt you or anyone hurt that brand that you're building. Okay? So drop your questions below. Let's talk about this further. I want to support you. And remember, always going to come from a place of, what can we control? And let's focus on that.